District was nearly a five-way race, but Iraq War veteran David Bellavia was turned down by the Republicans, and he then failed to submit the required paperwork to get onto the ballot as an independent. He stayed involved, however, by endorsing Jack Davis. That's the Democrat-turned-Republican businessman who was actually rejected by both parties and is now running on the Tea Party line. Davis, now on his fourth congressional run, has played a unique role in this race, facing criticism for both being too liberal and too conservative. He has tried to portray himself as truly independent, while the Republicans accuse him of being a spoiler. Davis has refused our repeated invitations to come on to the show, but David Bellavia is here to make his case for him. Thanks for your time, David. It's good to see you.
Hey, nice to see you. How you doing?
I am well. Thanks for asking. So let's get right to it then. Is Jack Davis a spoiler? His numbers have been dropping, but Jane Corwin's numbers are not improving. It looks like that helps Kathy Hochul.
Well, you know, I mean, the last numbers that came out, I've been in combat situations where I've been given a 12% chance to live, and I fought my way through that. I think if Jack Davis gets his message out and enough of his supporters come out and get their friends and neighbors to the polls, I think you're going to find that those polling numbers are way too conservative and that Jack Davis is going to be more than a spoiler. I think Jack Davis can take this race.
Really? Because his numbers have been dropping. I mean, obviously, do you believe that that whole assault mess that happened where you had Corwin's chief of staff actually going to Jack Davis and pretty much baiting him, and then his response to be very aggressive, allegedly assaulting the guy, I mean, it looked like both of them got hurt in that. It looks like that really took a toll.
No, it definitely took a toll. It took a toll on Jane Corwin. I think that's the single reason why Jane Corwin will not be a congresswoman. That was such a transparent view into who Jane Corwin is. The slightest bit of adversity, she's been deceitful in the entire story. It makes no sense. The timeline doesn't make sense. The whole thing is just obnoxious. It went from, you know, Jack Davis, you know, assaulting a young man to Corwin's chief of staff having no control over her campaign,
okay, well, let me ask
having no
you
control
this.
over what happens there.
Just let's put aside all of the sort of back and forth finger pointing. You are a Davis supporter. Do you believe that Jack Davis comported himself appropriately in that moment?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, Jack Davis, of all things, Jack Davis is not an individual who who's going to be politically correct. He's not a guy that's going to kowtow to a party. You get in Jack Davis's face and you block him from his American-made car, he's going to be upset. However, is it necessary that an individual has to scream like he's on fire? I don't think so. I was there during that event, and the whole thing was embarrassing. But look, it's a national embarrassment now. We got Eric Masso, we got Chris Lee, and now we have this ridiculous coward gate in the parking lot of a veterans event.
Okay.
It's just it just shows you how absolutely out of control this entire race has become.
Okay, when you say that he needs to get his message out, we're coming real down to the wire here. Not much more time. You have, however, recorded a robocall from him. This is a robocall is sort of a slang thing. It's like when you record a call and it goes out automatically to people who live in the district. You call Jack Davis, quote, a conservative Republican like I am. Really, David? He used to be a Democrat, and he gave money to Democrats. The Republicans accuse him of being a Nancy Pelosi supporter.
Well, the Republicans have been accusing a lot of things that aren't exactly true.
Okay,
the thing about Jack Davis
given
is
money to Democrats. He has.
And so many Republicans that used to be Democrats in the last gubernatorial race gave money to Democrats, too. Here's what it comes down to. The Erie County Republican Party, Nick Langworthy, he single-handedly registered Jack Davis in 2010 to become a Republican. He was conservative enough to take his money. A lot of those GOP, and Chris Lee included. As a matter of fact, Chris Lee took Jack Davis into Washington to meet with John Boehner to be his job czar. So the Republican Party had no problem when they thought that Jack Davis was retired. He was certainly conservative enough for him to write as many checks. Look, the reality is that Jack Davis is a Reagan Republican. Jack Davis wanted to run a primary against Reynolds. He became a Democrat to defeat Reynolds. And there are things I disagree with Jack Davis to this day. However, I know where he stands fiscally. I know where he stands on jobs. We've got 2 trade agreements that are going to come up in front of this Congress, and I don't think Kathy Hochul or Jane Corwin know anything about trade agreements.
Well, we would know a lot more about Jack Davis if he would simply agree to come onto the show. Jane Corwin hasn't come onto the show either, which I'm very upset about, actually. I don't really understand it. I mean, do you have any idea why Mr. Davis won't come on?
Because you frighten people.
Oh,
that's
thank
why.
you.
No,
Thank you.
No, I have no idea. I don't know. But you know what it really comes down to is this race is an absolute mess. And for me, this is about bringing purity back to the Republican Party. Conservatism is not losing this race. It's Jane Corwin that's losing this race. She's on 3 lines. I'm telling you right now, if you put Jack Davis on the Conservative Party line, he wins this race by 15 points.
Okay, but it's
That's
too
what
late.
this district is made up of.
Unfortunately, it's too
No,
late
I know,
for
but
that.
I'm just...
We will see, though. Unfortunately,
it is too late.
And we're also out of time. I'm willing to bet that we will see more of you, David Bellavia, and the man is an Iraq war veteran and not afraid to come on Capitol tonight. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be seeing you out in Buffalo.
Thank you.